looks like this one goes to Jared. In the past several years across the nation, there's been a rise in the number of high-profile officer-involved shootings, many involving minority suspects. This has led to phrases such as Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and Blue Lives Matter entering the national lexicon. As Sheriff, how would you address incidents like this and prepare your men to keep this from happening in Bulloch County?
You don't start preparing for a Ferguson the day of the Ferguson. You have to have relationships with your community for years before in order to mitigate an incident like they had. You have to put in practice community forums, relationships with people in different communities, in various communities. They have to have your cell phone number. They have to feel like they can come speak with you if there's a grievance or an issue. You have to have a strong internal affairs policy. You have to have an internal affairs policy that fairly addresses complaints that are made on deputies and defend not only the deputy from false complaints, but also the civilian if there was inappropriate behavior. You have to have a good relationship with your news outlets and your media because they can crucify you quicker than you can investigate an officer-involved shooting. So those relationships are critical. Above and beyond anything else, we have to remember that it's our community. It is as good or as bad as what we make it. It is as good or as bad as what our deputies are trained to deal with. We want to strive for crisis intervention training for all of our deputies, not just our jail staff, for training on mental health issues and the issues which may arise from those kind of situations so that we can better deal with and address individuals with those needs. There's a whole spectrum of things that we can do, but you have to put them in place now if you're going to want to use them in years to come. It doesn't happen overnight. Trust is not built overnight with any of our communities.
Some of the greatest things that have been implemented in reference to race relations or anything having to do with like the Ferguson incident is, again, St. James Rebel. He started a meeting over at a Julia P. Bryant school with a group of people there, and it's really been a helpful event on a regular basis. I feel like, again, being in our areas, speaking with each and every church throughout Bulloch County, and teaching the officers, be kind, treat people like you want to be treated. Those things aren't going to happen here if we keep one thing in mind. Again, watch your attitude from people. They may get rough with you, but sometimes you have to back up a step and say, hey, calm down. Some people say, is that the way to handle it? I say it is. You've got a minute to cool them down. But in the instant that something like that was to happen, we do have things to fall back on. And that is a working internal affairs office that can handle it. If there's something outside of them that can investigate any kind of incident of that nature, it will probably be the GBI. In some cases, in civil rights violations, the federal government. But we definitely will follow any guideline we needed to. I would make sure it was enforced, but I also would tell you, I would not be standing behind the officer. I would be standing beside him.
All right, folks, that concludes our questions. And let me just tell you, as a member of the Statesboro City Council who's currently in the search for a police chief, I can tell you, as members of Bulloch County, you have two fine candidates standing in front of you. We are certainly blessed to have both of these guys as options for sheriff. Let me say thank you to Noel and Jared. And I look around the room and I see folks from the city, from Georgia Southern, from OTC, from the probate court, from all over the county and all over the community. So I want to say thank you to y'all for being here, to being interested in your community, because I believe there's more people in this room than voted at my city council election. So again, give yourselves a big round of applause.